Hi, everybody, and welcome to Red Wings Rant, where tirades and impassioned pleas for your, I don't know, this hockey team. Your Detroit Red Wings. Whatever. What's the rest of it?
I don't even want to be around anymore. Yeah.
I don't know. This was not fun to watch, Mike.
This was a team of Carl Havocks, because they did not want to be around anymore.
They didn't. They definitely, I think what we saw, and we'll go over some highlights here in a second. Some of the stuff we've been sharing on our Red Wings Rant X account. Just some of the examples of like how utterly fucking horrible we've been defensively. And now, something against the Ducks. Obviously, we made that a close game, and it was 4-3 by the end of it, but didn't look fun for most of it. And then against the Jets, just solid win for the Jets. 60 minutes of solid play, but from the Jets. They just locked it down.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure you clarified that.
Yeah. It was like the Ducks kind of let up a little bit. They let the wingdings back in there, but not the Jets. The Jets got it on lockdown. They're like, I know what Derek Lalonde's got cooked up for us. We know what's up. We can handle this.
Well, I don't know if you heard, but Ken Daniels was very excited that the Red Wings broke their streak tonight. Let's go! Well, the Red Wings finally go a game without giving up a goal in the first 5 minutes.
Hey!
And he couldn't help but say it sarcastically. Jared saying Mike doesn't know how to use UPS. That's not true. I am just lazy.
That's
your prize.
Mike, you've got a streak to break of your own.
Woo! As soon as the Red Wings go on a 6-game winning streak, Jared, I'll make sure I get your prize mailed out, buddy.
Do I need to break into your house and get that thing?
Probably not, because Becky leaves the back door unlocked all the time. So,
well, it's still breaking and entering. I'm not wanted.
Well, it's just entering, I guess. You don't have to break anything.
So yeah, we could talk about these. One thing with the Ducks game and then the Jets game here. Shout out to Hockey Stat Cards. It's funny. I've been looking for these, and then it just popped up on my feed. I think 2 games ago, and I was like, "Oh, cool! Yeah, we could just grab all this. They'll just make it for us."
Hey, we got one good player
right after the game.
Look at it.
Right? Isn't this crazy? Patrick Kane, number 1 on the team for 2 straight games. So if you guys aren't familiar with Hockey Stat Cards, basically what you're going to get pooped out for you at the end of each game is going to be, I would like to call it a nice little ranking here. And then you're going to see based on game scores. So clearly, yes, there's just the inherent bias of the fact that Dom Luszczyszyn is a human being who has biases, and everything we create will have those built in. Can't avoid it. However, he's done a fair amount of work to try and eliminate those. So nothing's perfect. This is pretty good. What his game score is and what he's developed. Usually his game score is pretty good at predicting how the season's going to roll out. Does he predict a Stanley Cup winner? No, because there's a rubber fucking puck bouncing on ice. Pieces of crap who give him a hard time. But predictive models aren't meant to be perfect. I mean, they try to be as perfect as possible, but they're not like... We play the games, right? We play the games for a reason. We don't just let somebody put a predictive model out there and then we just sit back and say, well, that's our Stanley Cup champion. So I just want to add that in there because we did get some pushback earlier today in the Discord, which Mike joined, about expected goals for. I just want to say, like, I know it's not, it's new and it's something we all are still learning about, but this is an attempt to use a lot of those predictive models to give us a result.
Well, I think, we
What's
want
going on with
a
this
predictive
player's
model.
performance.
I think to feel a little bit better about having something to watch in the future, because I feel really bad for Justin Fields 63, who said, "I'm so done with this," and then said, "I cannot keep watching unwatchable hockey. I'm wasting my time, wasting minutes of my life that I will never get back ever."
And now we're asking you guys to hang around, hang in there. 30 more minutes. Let's talk about it.
Justin, it's really hard to watch, especially in this new golden age of TV. I'm getting sucked into season 5 of Fargo, and instead here I was watching Patrick Kane and the Pips. It was not very good.
See, Dan B coming in. Not sure how much credence I give that. Stat service, Dom has Oilers playoff chance at 95 points. Is that supposed to be 95%? Because I don't know if you guys have seen, like, Connor McDavid's put up like 28 points in like the last 3 games. Like, he's going to get that team in the playoffs. Don't you worry. And that's the whole point of his predictive model. It says, well, Connor McDavid's on this team, so points are going to come. Like, it's out of the ordinary when Connor McDavid's not scoring, which is when the Oilers were struggling. So that's exactly what the predictive model said would happen. So Dan, it's right on point. I gotta say, I know what you're saying, and I know we want to push back on these, but it's actually the predictive model said exactly what actually did end up happening. So, anywhoozles, jump into today's game. A lot of the same from the Patrick Kane storyline. Just
yeah, that's that Hall of Fame guy. That Hall of Famer is pretty good, Matt.
Who was it? I think it was Frank Saravelli that said his hot take was like, we're going to see like a 90-point pace from Patrick Kane. Now, I don't need to see that. I bet the Wings absolutely like need it. I think we saw it today.
Kind of tough since he's playing with Red Wings. But maybe his expected performance would be like a 90 points. But I think it's going to be tough for him to get assists based on who he's playing with.
No, the point I was going to arrive at was just like, think about what this team was before Patrick Kane. He's now at 4 points in 2 games for us now against the Ducks and against the Jets here. And learning right now that we are winless if we play a game and don't get at least 4 goals, which when you first hear that stat, you're like, well, yeah, of course we win more often when we get 4 goals. No, our defense is so horrendous. Our goaltending is so horrendous. Team defense, by the way, I like Jared pointed that out earlier. I don't think we say team defense enough. It's there's a little bit of coaching involved.
Don't you say
and
that.
We'll go over that. We'll go over that in a minute.
Newsy's so good at this.
We have to score 4 goals for us to have a chance to win a game. Against the Ducks and against the Jets, great examples of just a couple goals.
Do we want to run through this? So today, 2 goals lost. Ducks 3 lost. Flyers 0 lost. Hurricanes 1 lost. 6 goals versus St. Louis win. Only 3 against the Ducks lost. Man, 1 goal against Ottawa lost. Man, here's another outlier. 5 goals against the Sharks. God, that game. We really needed that game. And then 5 spot against Buffalo, and we had a 5 spot against Montreal. Man, those were good days back then.
Justin Fields, yeah, at least Kane is good. Again, we're thrilled about that. Performance art, it's not Kane's fault. I hate hearing that bullshit. Who is saying that this is Patrick Kane's fault? Do I have to scroll up in the comments here? Because I saw a couple people saying that, like on Twitter or X, and I just have not seen it. I feel like we're all thrilled with Patrick Kane right now, and he's like dragging this team.
Yeah, you got to be thrilled with finishes. Your best player far and away.
Yeah, and again, back to kind of patting these gamer score charts on the back. Clearly points to Patrick Kane going far and away being the best player on the ice. There was one I wanted to point out.
Performance art did clarify in the media, but
I mean, yeah, it sounds like you're at a loss for words. I think
No, I just, it's at that stretch that I thought we were going to be past. But these losses have really built up, and they've really built up quickly. Where it's not watchable hockey. It's I thought that when we got Kane, on this team that was already, showing the ability to score goals, right? Where they were in the top, like top 5 goals for. I just, we kind of glossed over that dependency when things were riding high and we were actually winning games. But man, that dependency, Matt, it looks like it's going to break this season and potentially make us sellers again at the goddamn trade deadline. And it feels so tough because we've talked about, what's the base, what's the the control in this experiment about how you're going to fix this team. Is it the defensive core, or is it the goaltending? And I mean, at this point, I don't think the solution is to pile more 30-year-olds has-beens on the blue line. I don't think that is going to accomplish what you want it to accomplish. I don't think it's having 3 maybes in goal. And Reimer, Matt, an analogy that I could think of is, have you ever seen somebody who like kind of brought maybe slappy food to a potluck at work? Yeah. Reimer looks like he brought a bunch of punchkis filled with chili, and they're just like falling through the box every step of his way to his desk. Because every time there's a scrum in front of the net, it just looks like chili-filled punchkis are falling all over him, and another goal goes in. He looks lost.
Yeah,
so
Reimer,
I don't think the defense is doing him a single favor, but it doesn't look like he has any confidence. He's not giving us any reason to be confident in him.
No, I'm glad you landed on that, because we can, and I want to talk about how weak the pressure has been defensively from the Wings really this whole month. We have some great examples we'll go over in just a second. So that plus this goaltending performance that's been pretty consistent, where Reimer today turned in a minus, pretty close to a -3 goals saved above expected. So put it that way, we're going to show some highlights of how porous this defense is, right? And on top of that, it still suggests in the expected goals chart that it should be, you know what, just a couple goals here or there. But no, Reimer will not have it. He will let in 2, 3, maybe even 4 extra goals just to make it that much more difficult. And that's not, again, that's not specific to Reimer either. We were seeing it with Husso too. He'll be gone for a while. We have no Alex Lyon till after New Year's. So this is something I think I saw it mentioned on our Discord, but somebody called out Steve Yzerman saying, like, we need a healthy team and we need good goaltending. And that's how this team gets in the playoffs. And okay, with Alex Lyon going down, you don't have your healthy team, and you didn't have, at least for the last month, your most reliable goaltender, maybe month and a half here.
It's funny because we're not that unhealthy.
No.
I mean, our goalies
we were getting there,
but it's not like our goalies were playing out of this world. Who brought this up? Oh, it was Dan B, one of the Dans, saying who the key to this team's success was David Perron. Yeah, I mean, Justin Fields echoing that too. When he got suspended, we started losing. Who knew he was this year's Rasmussen? He goes down, the whole team just collapses on itself like a dying star.
I'm gonna stamp coincidence down on that. I don't think I'm ready to give any credit to Perron for what's going on here, negatively or positively. I think not so much changes when he comes back. I don't know. Maybe, there was one word that Lalone kept talking about, like, oh, we need Comfer back. We need Larkin back for balance.
They're bipolar. Who made that comment?
Well, yeah. So what Lalone was talking about was he said, now we have balance. So is it something too? Like, is there balance we're missing somewhere in the middle six without Perron? Something defensively, something more responsible, an extra voice. I don't know. I'm going to say I know Lalone was excited about getting Comfer back and getting that balance. So
Yeah,
far,
it's two scary comments here. Performance art saying scares me how they can look almost unbeatable to almost a last place team all within a couple weeks. And Brand New was reacting to what I said about, my God, we could be sellers again. Brand New with the heartbreaking fact here. Who can we sell at the deadline? Ghost and Kane will still be stuck with all the rest of the bums on this roster. I mean, you ain't lying. Yeah.
I mean, if we're not getting rid of Kane at the trade deadline, and this continues into January, then you don't want to be talking. You don't want to have the conversation, right? Of like, all right, well, now we got to drop 5, 6, 7 mil on Patrick Kane in the off season, right? Like that's further away from the discussion we want to have to build a long-term contender.
Yeah. Do you have the awful? I you use the word highlight.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not fun. This is a long one too. It starts with the zone entry, and how many times have
this is like watching JFK footage? But go ahead, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, how many times are we watching power plays for the Red Wings? And keep in mind this is just 5-on-5, so we're same amount of guys on the ice here. But when we have the extra guy, it's like impossible for us to enter the zone. And you wish that our opposing penalty kill was like this. You just, kind of lightly tap the stick, and we got in there past 4 Red Wings. Now Larkin here, I think this is where he was attempting to get rid of the puck, and the Jets get the puck back. So a failed clearing attempt, and whoop! This is where it gets even uglier. The Jets are just able to get all the space in the world. Like there's no pressure here. They have, this is really conservative, and we saw it all night in the defensive zone against the Jets. And they don't have Kyle Connor out there. You got to respect the Jets, and they're going to be without Connor for a while, so they've got to figure things out. But this isn't like, I don't know. I mean, we can be pretty fair here and just talk about the fact that this wasn't like the Toronto Maple Leafs, where you've got Matthews out there who's going to put 4 goals on you if he can start to smell blood. But no, today it was Velarde on the Jets, who I just picked up for my fantasy team, by the way.
I picked up the Jets goalie. I feel like a genius right now.
So there was their first shot attempt on this defensive zone possession, and just nothing from the Wings. Like the rebound goes right back. I mean, tell me this doesn't even look like a power play right now with 5-on-5. Jets have all the time in the world. Now this is where the space is made. I think this was the Velarde goal, but he just makes space, like just kind of tiptoes away from Seider. Seider's ready to block a shot.
I think Seider realizes one of us has to play goalie.
Well, I mean, you've got the guys matched up down there. There's 3 guys matched up to the Jets, and they have 2 guys back on the point. But I mean, I would challenge everybody to kind of. I might be a little disappointed here in Larkin, who's just kind of. I don't know, that turn up. That is this something that he's still feeling? Effects, because to me it just looks like, if you watch Larkin, who's right between the circles right now, nothing's happening there, and Seider's got to pick a guy, right? So you kind of want to immediately blame Seider for letting Velarde get that open space, but he's also playing the puck, he's playing the shooter, so I can't even be that mad at Seider. And it's one of these things where this is where you're trying to figure out what the problem is. And we talked about it earlier in the Discord. Jared just pointed out, like, these are problems we've seen for a while. And at that point, it's on coaching, right? Like we shouldn't be sitting here trying to figure out like, oh, guy gets wide open. Who do we want to blame? And it's like, well, no, this is the team defense problem. And kind of the same thing happens later in the game where if I back this up a little bit here, you've got one Winnipeg Jet actually playing the puck, and you've got Sherratt and Veleno playing the puck right now. Petrie is kind of waiting for the puck to pop out for the Wings. He starts making the play towards somebody on the other side of the net. That's got to be who's getting the puck for the goal. And the puck just slides out underneath Veleno. Boop. Nothing. Oh, yeah, so then that's Scheifele that's going to finish this one off. Again, wide open in front of the net. Reimer, not good, but also those two goals were a wide open guy right next to the net. You'd think that would be like the expected goal would actually just be 1, instead of like 0.5, or like 0.4 or whatever, wide open right next to the net ends up getting scored at. Maybe to Dan B's point from earlier. But again, this is a combo effort. You can't just point to one guy that's making the mistakes. Petrie is the guy that's trying to go after Scheifele. You could see at this point, Scheifele's made the choice, but he's not doing anything. Not Scheifele. I'm sorry. Petrie's made the choice to try and go find Scheifele. I think right here he's like, oh, well, it's too late, and now Scheifele's just wide open in front of the net. But I got to ask you, if we have 3 guys going for the puck right now to 1 Winnipeg Jet, how are we losing this puck battle? This pass should have never happened.
Matt, shame on Performance Art saying Hronek would look pretty good right now. I think to Jared's point, as far as getting in some practice time, I got to think tomorrow's going to be an off day because the next 2 days are a back-to-back. Home against the Flyers for a rematch, and then we get to play the Devils. Hooray! So this team's not going to look like they know what they're doing until middle of next week sometime. Because after that back-to-back, they do get a little Christmas break. The Christmas Eve, Christmas day after to play with their new video games. And then the 27th, they'll be playing the Wild. And then they get Nashville and then Boston, the only good team that we confidently play well against.
That's true.
So, yeah, I mean, we can kind of look at some of the evidence of, how rough this is looking with the defensive coverage, Matt. But I guess I want to figure out, are there any solutions? Is the solution we just got to get these guys practicing? Just get them a good old-fashioned hockey practice. Let them figure it out. Or are we finally going to start to admit that maybe some of the personnel defensively needs to be different? And I don't know if that means Grand Rapids or if that means you end up trading someone who's playing in Grand Rapids and plays forward and you try to acquire somebody on defense. Because
Mike's gone. Shoot. There he is.
Sorry about that. No, I was just
no, that's okay.
We get this week of practice coming up, right? We're going to be asking these guys to practice on Christmas or the day after Christmas. Their attention's definitely going to be there. Is it really just a case of, getting these guys with Lalonde to, figure out some, here's the coverages you're missing. Here's how we can resolve this. Here's how we can play better going forward. Or does it involve something more dramatic? A Grand Rapids call-up or a trade of sorts involving our favorite Burger Man.
I mean, the argument to not experiment is going to be really tough to make, right? I think we're in that zone. I've seen some call outs recently of like maybe if we start to see like some perfect special teams play from Edmondson, I guess, and I'm taking a Twitter account on this. I'm taking their word for it that Griffins have just been struggling on the power play. So I'm wondering if they're waiting for that. But either way, I know we've seen enough out of Edmondson. Not even in Grand Rapids. You and I were thinking we were going to see Edmondson last year. Now we're seasoned and a couple of months of this season removed from that wonderful thought. And you know what? I think it's time. If it's not going to happen right after, like you said, out of Christmas break, it's got to be something where new year, new me. Let's give it a shot. Lyon is trending right now on X, and people aren't happy, and there are some accounts who I don't respect a lot, who are just saying like absolutely not the problem. I think it's irresponsible right now of anybody to look at this and not say there isn't like a problem from top to bottom that's kind of starting to show itself. And there's comments I'm seeing on X where it's like, every team can have a bad week. It's like, sure, that bad week is come and gone. It's and certainly injuries got in the mix there too. But this was not what this team was supposed to look like when Comfer and Larkin came back. This is ugly, and we have we have the receipts that we just went over to prove that this is more than just. It's not just the players. I mean, they're out there being coached to play back, right? Like the decision as a team is get closer to the net, protect the net, and that's not working out so great right now. I'd like to see more pressure on the puck, and you got to think, yes, there's player choice involved in there, but I hate to say it, it's coaching, guys. I know we love Laloda. I know we love his interviews. We love looking at his sunken eyes, his Tim Robinson eyes. But that it would be irresponsible of anybody to say it's absolutely not on Lalone to get this team to start putting more pressure on the puck. Right? It's just when you put it that way, you're like, oh, right, yes, that makes perfect sense. Dan Bergeron throwing in there. We need Edmondson and Berggren. He's solid. Oh, why Charnick? He's solid, not what we need. I think you don't need to concern yourself with any decision with Charnick. I think they're trying to make a choice there that is giving Berggren and Edmondson a chance to continue to do what they're doing in Grand Rapids. I don't think it's a choice of one over the other, but I think we've strained that choice. Right, that would be why, and I think it's been too long of that being the consistent choice.
Well, I think the theory is like, okay, we want to make sure we can guarantee Edmondson and Berggren get a lot of minutes, on special teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like our special teams is necessarily playing out of this world. It's not like our 5-on-5 is playing out of this world. So you're telling me Edmondson couldn't find a way to earn top 4 defenseman minutes? Blows my mind. Or Berggren couldn't find a way to pepper in a few goals because outside of Kane, we're having trouble finding scoring threats. So he couldn't find a way to get minutes either. So it definitely feels like a bit of a flawed theory. Since it feels like those two would be more productive than a few of the guys on this current roster. It'd be nice to get some more scratches out of Hall and Petrie, in exchange for Edmondson. It'd be nice to see him get some growing pains in Detroit, because I feel like we'd also be more willing to stomach those growing pains rather than Petrie. He's still figuring it out. Is he though? In his mid-30s?
Yeah. I'm going to do this. Mike, you were talking about the theory, a strained theory. One might be, can I actually get Mike out of here on time? And the theory would be no. But I'm going to break that theory. I'm going to break that trend. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike is coming off a 12-hour shift.
Starting another one tomorrow.
That's right. And we're all going to do him a favor. I'm going to do you guys a favor because we need to sleep this one off. But it's not great right now. But we're going to sail off into the sunset early so that Mike can get ready for his long day of work tomorrow. We're doing him a favor. Mike, good luck tomorrow. And shoot, we'll probably see you guys in a couple of weeks because next week is, I guess we'll be past Christmas by Wednesday. But yeah,
we might be able to squeak in a Wednesday episode next week. Yeah.
All right. We'll keep you guys posted. Just set your notifications on YouTube. But hope you guys have a wonderful holiday, whatever you're celebrating. I will be celebrating Christmas on Monday. Anybody celebrating with me, I hope you have a wonderful one. Enjoy your families. Forget this game. Forget the wings and just enjoy the family. Get some yummy food inside your tum-tums and have a good one, everybody. Love you guys. We'll see you maybe next week, but happy holidays.
Let us know if you're going to go to that live WWE event next Wednesday, huh? It's in Detroit.
I'm not.
Oh, all right.
All right. See you guys.